Hello and thank you for watching. I'm Ashley Van Dyke with Advantage Software, and on today's video, Job Report, Managing Print Commands at a Glance, I'm going to show you how you can use the Job Report function to troubleshoot and solve any problems you may have caused by incorrect print commands. In this example video, we're going to address 4 primary problems. The example document that I'll be working with has a problem with the headers and footers. There's an unexplained page break. One of my index lines is not complete. And my page numbers and line numbers are missing. Next, I'm going to open the document and show you how all of these problems can be identified and solved using the job report function. I'm in my document now, and I'm going to quickly go over the 4 example problems that we're going to solve. So in this document, if I scroll down to page 2, you see that I have my header on page 2. I have my header on page 3. However, once I get to page 4, my header disappears. In addition to my header, if I go to Settings, Document tab, my footer is supposed to be my name and license number. However, right now it's showing as the witness's name. And so that's my header and footer problem that I need to solve. The next problem, if I go back to the top of the document and scroll down, my index is showing up on page 2. This should be on page 1, and there's not enough text on page 1 to have caused it to go down to page 2, so there must be some other reason that this is on page 2. In addition to my index being on the wrong page, my exhibit number 4 did not render properly. Because it has this little up arrow icon here, I suspect that I probably didn't fill out a blank field completely, but we can double check using the job report function. The last problem in my document is that I don't have any page numbers or line numbers. You see that as I scroll through, there's no line numbers to the left of my document, and there's no page numbers anywhere in any of the corners of my document. So I need to fix my headers and footers. I need to ensure that my index appears on page 1. I need to fix exhibit number 4. And I need to correct my line numbers and page numbers. I can do all of this using the job report function in Eclipse. I can go to Tools, Job Report, and this shows me all of the print commands in my document in addition to my document statistics. At the top, I have information about my job, such as the pages, paragraphs, lines, words, and folios of notes, in addition to the time I've spent editing. So far, I've spent 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 50 seconds editing in this document. If I press the Transstats button, the real-time status box comes up and provides me with all of my real-time translation statistics. Since this document was created as an example, there were no untranslates or conflicts to report. At the bottom half of the window are your print commands. Using the display drop-down box, you can choose to display the commands in order or alphabetically. You can also choose to display paragraph status information, however, that's a video for another day. In this example, I'm going to go ahead and leave my commands in the order that they appear in the document. And so you can see that my print commands are listed in order, and it tells you the page number and line number that the print command appears on. The first problem that I want to solve is my header and footer problem. First, I'm going to look at my headers. So my header appears on page 2, my header appears on page 3, and my header disappears on page 4. So this must mean that somewhere on page 3 or page 4, there's something interfering with my headers. So if I look on page 3, I see that I have here an omit elements header print command. If I double click on it, I'm taken to that area in the document. And to remove this one, I can simply hit Control-Y. I hit Control-Y to remove the omit elements header that was on page 3, line 23, and if I scroll down to page 4, I still don't see my header. However, I see that in my print command list, there's something else on page 4, and it's just blank. If I double click on that, I see that it takes me to line 17, and this is a blank line. And if I look to the left, there's an H. If I click on the H, it indicates that this is a header paragraph. So that means that I have a blank header line here. Since headers in Eclipse are running, I entered the first header on page 2, and that's the header that I'll get until I insert a new header. And so in this instance, the new header I entered was blank, and so from this point down, I wouldn't have a header at all. Again, I can put my cursor here and press Ctrl Y to yank that blank header out. For right now, I'm going to go ahead and close the job report window. I'm going to go to the top of the document, and if I page down, I have my header on page 2. I have my header on page 3 and 4, and so on and so forth. Now in this document, my header is okay, and I don't need to worry about that anymore. Next, I need to fix my footer. Since this says Witness Joe Rivera here, and I need it to say my default footer, what I have in my document tab, my court reporter license number, what I'm going to do is go back to Tools, Job Report, and I'm going to look for the print command that says Witness Joe Rivera. And it looks like this was accidentally entered right at the beginning of the document. I can double click on it, and again, I can put my cursor in it and hit Ctrl Y to get rid of it. Now, if I look in my document, I have my correct footer listed at the bottom of my document with my name and license number. So now my headers and footers are correct. I have the correct header text on my header, and I have my correct footer text for my footer. Next, I need to go ahead and get my index moved to page 1. So I'm going to close Job Report again. I'm going to go to my title page again, and if I look, I only have a few lines of text. There's no real reason that my index, which is also very short, shouldn't be able to fit on that page. So I'll go back to Tools, Job Report, and I'll see if I can figure out why my index has been moved to page 2. And I see that on page 1, line 9, I have a page break. So that means that after line 9 on page 1, no more text will be entered on that page, and it'll all be moved to page 2. So again, I'll put my cursor in the page break and hit Ctrl Y, and now my index appropriately appears on my first page below my appearances. And at this point, I now have testimony on page 1, which is not what I want. So probably what happened is I put the page break in the wrong place. I'm going to go ahead and do Alt-N, choose page break, and hit enter. So now my testimony begins correctly on page 2, and my title page and index are safe on page 1. If I close out of this document, or if I close out of the job report, go back to Tools and Job Report, it'll now list the page break at page 1, line 19, which left plenty of space for my index to fit. Now that I've corrected my headers and footers and I have my index on the right page, I just need to correct this exhibit number 4. Since I have this caret in here, I suspect that probably I didn't finish filling something out. However, if I go to Tools and Job Report, it'll tell me for sure. So here I see that I have exhibit number 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. However, my exhibit number 4 isn't complete here, and that definitely indicates that there's some problem in Eclipse parsing the information that I've given it. I'll double click here, and I see that in fact I have not filled out one of my blank fields. So I can put my cursor here, press Ctrl E. I'll fill in my description of my exhibit. So now this index line has been filled out again. I can return to the top of the page, top of the document rather, and I will regenerate my index. And here I see that in the preview, my exhibit number 4 has been correctly identified as photograph of vehicle number 2 as I typed in, and I can hit accept because this looks just fine now. So now I have corrected my headers and footers. I have my index on page 1 with my appearances where it belongs, and I have corrected exhibit number 4 in my index. So the last problem that I need to address is just the lack of page numbers and line numbers in my document. I still don't have any page numbers or line numbers anywhere, so I know that this is a document-wide problem. I'm going to go to Tools, Job Report, and I see that the very first thing in my job report now is omit elements, page number, line number. And so if I double click on that, I see that at the top of my document, I have omitted page number and line number. In this instance though, that's what I want. I don't want page numbers and line numbers on my first page because it's my title and index page. So instead of yanking this out with Control Y, I'm going to go ahead and go down to the top of page number 2 to my first line of text. I'll hit Alt N, and this time I'm going to choose Resume Elements, page number and line numbers, and press OK. And so now I can close the job report window, and I see that on page 2, I have my page number listed in the top right, and I have all of my line numbers. And if I scroll down to the bottom of the document, you see that my page numbers and line numbers continue all the way through. If I needed to, I could put another Alt-N, or I could do Alt-N and then omit elements, page number and line number at the end of my document to turn them back off for a certificate page. However, in this document, I haven't finished yet, and so I don't need to do that. And so that's 4 common problems that you can solve using the job report function. And so now if I go to Tools and Job Report, you see that I don't really have anything suspicious. I don't have any blank lines. I don't have any omits that don't have matching resumes. I don't have any unfilled index lines, and everything in here looks fine, and my document now looks fine. So this is just a quick example of how you can use Job Report to manage print commands in your document to make sure that you always get the results you want and to save you time scrolling through your document looking for them manually. You'll notice that throughout this video, I didn't have print commands visible in my document. I only used the Job Report function to view them. You can, in your user settings, in the Display tab, turn on print commands, and that'll show you the print commands as you're working in your document. This may be helpful if you have a lot of indexes and exams that you're marking to make sure that you have everything filled out. However, the job report window puts all of that in one easy to see window so that you can see at a glance if you've missed anything. This is much easier than scrolling through the document looking for all of your index commands to make sure that everything is filled out correctly. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions about job report, print commands, or any of Eclipse's other amazing functions, please be advised that Advantage Software offers anytime support 24/7. We can be reached anytime, including weekends and holidays, at 772-288-3266. Email support is also available at support@eclipsecat.com. Please reach out to us if there's any way that we can help you. Thank you for watching this video. If you're enjoying our content, please subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so that you'll be notified when we push new content. Thank you so much and have a great day.